Good morning. Today is the 30th of December, sometime after 10 in the morning. I know that much because I've tried this video a couple of times, which is kind of, it kind of shows what I've been going through here lately. And I hope this one uploads. I made a video the other day. I made two of them, as a matter of fact. And because I had to edit, I had to use my computer. And I lost sound on one. The other one couldn't upload to YouTube 3 times. And it's just been an interesting problem with my electronics. Now I'm using the same format I've always used, and there's nothing new. And I'm about to just go live and just do these things live to see if they actually show up or whether I'm completely being censored. So that's what's going on. Those videos had to do with some very strange anomalies in my life and some commercials and movies and stuff like that, which I won't get into because that might, trigger the algorithm that runs YouTube, and they'll be like, pull that one. I don't know why I haven't been able to upload a video, but I haven't. So we're going to try this again. What time is it? What time is it? It is 10:19 on December 30th, Wednesday. So the reason I'm out here is because, a couple different things. First of all, Luke 19:44. Luke 19:44 talks about Jesus is coming into the city. It's his triumphal entry. He's entering into Jerusalem. And he looks and he weeps because he sees Jerusalem and they don't have a clue what day it is. They don't know what time it is. They have no idea that their Messiah is riding on a foal of an ass into Jerusalem, even though it's written in the scriptures. And just before this, it speaks of him driving out the sellers and the money changers from the temple. So the temple was running and people were doing the religious thing, and yet none of them knew that the Messiah was standing in front of them. And it just speaks to me of all the different churches on every corner in this city and all the other places in the world who are doing the religious thing over and over and over and over and over again every Sunday as best they can with COVID-19, and yet they don't have a clue how close we are to the return of Jesus Christ for his bride, because the rapture is going to happen. I look at these things, and I study it out to the best of my ability, and we need to know the time of his coming, because in Luke 19:44 he says, because thou didn't know the time of thy visitation. Why didn't they know? Because they were lukewarm. Because they were just like, a couple of doves, couple of this is what I got to do, I'll go do this. It was meh religion. It wasn't even filled with desire and hope and joy, and there was nothing to it. It was just, I go to church, I'll listen, no big deal. And then right back to the world and all the rest that the world has to offer. That's a bad place to be. And he says, because of that, because they didn't know the day of their visitation, not one stone would stand upon another, and that they would be encompassed by their enemies, and they were in 70 AD, and Masada happened, and all the rest of it. And Jesus said it would happen that way, and they didn't listen. And even though it did happen that way, they didn't remember that he had said that. And they just kept following their rabbis, and they just kept following their Talmud, and they just kept following what they'd always been doing, which led to their destruction in 70 AD and will lead to their destruction again. This is not good. You know, there's in the comment section, or maybe the first pinned comment is going to be something the Lord gave me the other day, which is a stern rebuke to Israel, because they continue in their ways and they continue to do what is wrong. And who am I? Who am I that you should listen to me? Am I somebody? I'm a guy who lives in a one-bedroom apartment in the middle of the United States, and, you know, I'm nobody. I'm nobody. But God's made something of my life, and I know it. And I know it because I used to be a horrible drunk. And I used to say all kinds of things against God. I mean, I was right there with Paul. I wasn't killing people, but I was murdering you in your heart, in my heart. I didn't want to have anything to do with Christians. God changed me. And He woke me up, and He opened my eyes, and He opened my ears, and now my eyes see and my ears hear. And I cannot figure out for the life of me what day Jesus is coming back for His church. For the best of my understanding, it was October 9th, 2020. That's what I came up with. And then I've been watching others, and well, that'd be hopeful, that'd be nice, but never have I been convinced like I was convinced about October 9th, 2020. And what happened only happened in the spiritual, if it happened at all. I could have been misled, but it doesn't mean that I stop searching, that I stop hoping, that I stop knowing that we are standing on the edge of that day, standing on the very edge of it. We need to know. And there's others out there that are continuing to search for that. I am not really interested in that day per se, other than to know every day I wake up, I'll be ready if today's the day. And every day I go to sleep, I pray that He comes in the middle of the night and wakes me up, and off we go. Because there's nothing here. There's nothing. I had a dream last night, and I was with some people. They were family, and we were going to go to a dinner, and we were in New York City, which is completely atypical for my family. And we had a driver, and he took us to this amazing part of town with all these amazing restaurants, and we went in and we sat down, and I've served gourmet food. I've served gourmet Swedish, French, and Italian as a career. And it was some of the best food and placed on the plate. And I mean, it was art on a plate that tasted phenomenal. And yet it was what was offered in this world. There is a banquet that far exceeds that. And I woke up and I knew it. I knew it. In fact, when in the dream, I was like, it's amazing, but it's only what's available here. What's available in God's kingdom is mind-blowing. Why would any of us settle for what's in the world when heaven awaits? I cannot understand that. And that's what they were doing, is that the very Son of God was showing up in Jerusalem in 33 AD to offer His life, to offer His life so that we could have life. And they just, meh. They didn't know a good thing when they had it right in front of them. And this world doesn't offer anything compared to what Jesus offers. And so I'm asking that people would wake up. I'm asking the Lord that He would wake people up, that something would change, because this doldrum that just allows us to sleepily wander through this world without a care towards Christ or towards God's plan it's going to destroy people. It's going to destroy a lot of them. Because they didn't know the day of the visitation, they were destroyed. Simply for that. Is that day that important? Yes, apparently it is. But what that day reveals was the condition of their heart. They didn't care. They just didn't care. There isn't a day that goes by that I don't care about Jesus. I care about Jesus every day, all day. I'm constantly talking to the Lord. He's constantly talking to me. And yet I'm also being torn apart by Satan and his temptations and distractions and car problems and all sorts of stuff. And it just is what it is. It's a battle. It's a battle for everyone. And I know everyone goes through it. I'm not unique in this. I might be a little unique in the level at which this game is being played. And I would like to go into that. But again, that was the video that they wouldn't allow. That wouldn't go up. That wouldn't load. 3 times I tried to load that thing. It wouldn't fly. So, it's not about the day. It's about the condition of our hearts. If our hearts are right, we'll be searching for that day. We'll be longing for that day. Paul says that a crown awaits him because he finished the race. He ran his part. As there is a crown for anyone who longs for his appearing, who longs for Jesus' appearing. The problem with the churches is they don't long for Jesus' appearing. They could care less. They could care less. And you know it when you go in and you sit and you see and you listen and you're like, you know, I don't want to be that guy. I don't want anyone to be that guy. Why was the tax collector considered righteous in the eyes of the Lord and not the Pharisee? Because of the condition of his heart. Because even though he couldn't do anything right, not one thing could this guy do right. He was horrible. He knew he was stealing from people. He knew he was a tax collector hated by people. He knew he was worldly. He knew he only served money. And he hated that about himself. He hated it. And Jesus says, that's the righteous guy. As opposed to the Pharisee who's like, hey, I do everything you tell me to do. Yeah, but your heart's not right. Because you're proud and you're arrogant about, hey, I do everything you tell me to do. Jesus wants the people with broken hearts towards him. He doesn't care how you're living. He doesn't care what your motives are. What he wants to know is, do you recognize that you need him? That without him, life's miserable. And that's what the tax collector knew. He didn't have a relationship with God, and everything he had was worldly, and none of it was making him happy, and he was just weeping before God because he was like, I just can't do it. That's the righteous man. Go be that guy. So, I don't know what the next video is going to be about. I'm led by the Spirit on these things, and I just try and do what's right in front of me. When October 9th happened and it didn't go the way I thought, I really took a hit in my heart, in my chest, in my spirit, in my mind, and I just didn't understand. And I don't need to understand. I'm going to continue forward as I have done before. I'm going to do what it is that I do here. And hopefully it'll be something that the Lord's pleased with. I made a deal with God. I did not take a job back when I could have taken a job because I was told, wait upon the Lord. I asked, I said, Lord, if you're gonna take care of me, I need to know it. And so I prayed and I said, I need to see that page. And it turns out the page is Isaiah 40:31. Those who wait upon the Lord. I said, if you want me to wait upon you, my Swiss Army knife's going to land right on that page. And it did. And so I knew I was to wait upon the Lord. I could use your help. I'm asking. I still have to be humble enough to ask for help. If you have something you can give, I will gladly receive it. Thank you. And if you're not inclined, don't worry about it. You're not inclined for a reason. I'm here testing the Lord. Does he still want me to wait? Does he still want me to do what I'm doing? Or does he want me to get a job? And I'm going to know one way or the other. Because either there will be enough of a response that I'll be like, okay, Lord, I see it. I can hang on a little longer. Or there won't be, and that will be the Lord's answer. So really, I'm testing the Lord again, except this time I'm not putting my Swiss Army knife into a Bible to find out which page. I'm simply asking. And if the support comes, I'll keep doing what I'm doing. And if it doesn't, I'm going to go get a job. Because you know what? Those who do not work do not eat. And that's perfectly, God does not believe in welfare. He does for certain people. And he makes sure you know who those certain people are. Widows and orphans. I'm not a widow. I'm not an orphan. The question is, what work am I supposed to be doing? Do I go and be a waiter again, or do I minister the gospel? They had that decision answered for them in the book of Acts, I believe. We're too important to be waiting tables, they said, and ministering in that way. So they picked, 7 among them to go do that. Well, am I one of the 7 or am I one of the others? What is it that the Lord wants me to do? So one way or another, we're going to find out. And I guess I'm asking you, what do you want me to do? Do you want me to go back to being a waiter, or go back to being whatever job pays the bills? Or am I going to be supported by the people who believe that what I'm doing is God's work? I hate to be like that, but I guess that's where I'm at. And they say the proof is in the pudding. Oh, this is great pudding. Oh, this is excellent stuff. Well, how do you know? Well, they said the menu says it's great. Well, have you tasted it? They said the proof is whether the pudding tastes great. So the proof is whether or not I'll be supported as a minister. So if you can support me as a minister, great. And if you can't, don't worry about it, because really this is just about God's will. Does he want me to continue in what I do, or do I go back to doing something else? Does that mean I'll stop making videos? No, but there'll be a lot fewer of them. There have been a lot fewer of them lately, simply because of the battle I got going on with my computer. And that's it. Let's talk about that for a minute as well. The internet. If you haven't taken a look at Snowden, the NSA CIA guy that was accused of treason for outing what they do over there, and it's hard to certain things I suppose need national security, and other things people need to know, and who decides what's what, that who knows. But I'm not gonna condemn the man. I'm not going to applaud the man. I'm simply going to say that he exposed some areas of the violation of the Constitution by our own government, and I believe that that's correct. And so when we watch the internet, be aware the internet's watching you. 1984 was written by George Orwell, and we're living it. Every smart TV, every cell phone, they know what you're talking about, because when you speak about something, 2 days later you're getting ads for it. They heard you, and they know what's on your mind, and they want to perpetuate that. And Satan uses that. He uses this technology because in a little while, when he's cast to this earth, he will not have his spiritual powers, but he will have physical power in this world through governmental agencies and through technology, which is why technology is being built to the level it's being built. Because when Satan comes to rule and reign for his 7 years during the tribulation as the Antichrist, he will need something that he doesn't need right now. Right now, the demons and the spiritual powers stand on the other side of a dimensional divide, and they speak in dreams and visions and whispers and things like that, just as does the Holy Spirit, and that's why we test the spirits to know which ones are of God, Peter said. So, that's his ability today. When he's cast out of that realm and placed here in this realm, he will not have that ability, and his only ability will be through the 5G network that he has had built, through his atomic weapons that he has had built, that he and his demons have suggested to others to build. He will have his power in that way. Right now he has his power through suggestion. And so when we think about the internet and when we use the internet, we have to realize that every last little facet of what we do is being monitored. And I know this because people have shown up at my channel and proven it to me. And you don't have to be a Harvard graduate to figure out that these things are the way they are. You just simply need to engage with the information that's out there and realize, yeah, that's how it works. Every time I get an ad for something on a conversation that I had with somebody else, I know my phone's listening to me. And I know that algorithm is putting out something based on what it heard. Well, if it heard it, then someone else may have heard it. There is a national registry. It was established in 2013, or it should have been established in 2013, because of the Obamacare Act, and this would be found in the actual act itself. I think it's 3296, House HR 3296, which is the Affordable Care Act. And on page, in the 1500s, either 1509 or 1502, it talks about the registry and what kind of data will be held in the registry. And it says, and any other data deemed appropriate by the Secretary of Health. Woo! That's pretty open-ended. Any other deemed appropriate? Well, what does he deem appropriate? Whatever he darn well pleases to deem appropriate, including the 2 a.m. ramblings of so-and-so on the YouTube. And that's in there, and this is in there. It's all in there. Why not? Store it all. Because Satan wants information. He wants information. He wants to know what makes you tick. He wants to know what gets to you so he can use it against you. Is it too late? Oh yeah, it's way too late. We've already given this machine so much information about who we are and what we do that it's a little late now. But we have someone even greater than that, the Lord Jesus Christ, who can set us free from all of this and will set us free from all of this and gives us power over these things. I'm not going to sleep with my phone next to my head. I might even sleep with my phone wrapped up in aluminum foil. I won't get calls in the middle of the night, but then again, do I really want to get calls in the middle of the night? I might get better sleep this way. I'm going to find out. I think I am going to find out. I'm going to wrap this little bad boy in aluminum foil and be like, yeah, try and talk to me through that. God gives wisdom. Some of it we just don't need to worry about because we're given power over these things, and then the little suggestions don't do anything to us. Others may not be as strong, and they need to use just wisdom of the world and be smart about what it is they put in front of their eyes. Great little song. Be careful. Oh. Be careful, little eyes, what you see. Be careful, little ears, what you hear. For the Lord above is looking down in love. Be careful, little eyes, what you see. We need to be smart. Come here. Find someone that preaches the gospel. Follow them. Listen to them. Listen to the truth. Discern the spirits. Know which ones are of God, which ones aren't. And be aware that this is the way the world works. And very soon we'll be out of this world. Oh, dear God in heaven, very soon. But in the meantime, one day at a time, every day, all day, talk to Jesus about everything, every decision. Include him in everything you do. That's what he wants. He wants a relationship. Skip church. Go straight to your word. Go straight to the book. Read what it says. Do what it says. Show what's in your heart. Show that you love Jesus. You know what? And if you're doing that, you don't need to worry about the rest of the commandments. You'll do those automatically. You don't need to worry about all the mitzvahs. You'll do those automatically, if they even need to be done. Let's go back to the Old Testament. The Old Testament, Micah 6:8. Do you not know, O man, what is required of you? Walk humbly before God, love righteousness and mercy. Mercy, righteousness, humility. Tax collector had all of those. He had them. He knew what was right. He knew that mercy was topped everything else. And he was humble before God. That's why he was justified and not the Pharisee. Be the tax collector. If you can be better than the tax collector, do that too, but don't lose those three. Those three are most important. God bless, take care. I hope it's today. And if it's not today, I hope it's tomorrow. And if it's not tomorrow, I hope it's the day after that. But I hope it's soon. Come, Lord Jesus. God bless, take care. Let's see if this one posts. Bye-bye.